So my buddy Jerry asked me to make him a survival blade. And Jerry's pretty outdoorsy. You can check in the description below for a link over to his channel. So when Jerry contacted me about making this blade, he only really said he wanted it to be thick, he wanted something to be used as a chopper, and he wanted something that he could use a baton with, something he could beat on the back. So I took that into consideration, and let's go ahead and see what I made.
So I started with this big chunk of HY80. It was a piece of scrap from one of the hull cuts on our boat. It already had a nice curvature to the end of it. So it already looked like it, was meant to be a knife. Meant to be some sort of a machete or giant buccaneer knife. And then after most of the work was done on the forge or the anvil, I just went ahead and touched it up with an angle grinder, in all those areas that my hammer just couldn't reach, and kind of giving it more of its finished shape. Unfortunately, I lost some of the footage of forging after this, where I drew out the handle and then turned it around to make a nice little hang curl there for the handle. And then after all the shaping, I'm going to go ahead and do the heat treat. So HY80, I did a little bit of research on HY80, and it's kind of a low carbon steel. I'm guessing it to be somewhere in the 1030, 1040-ish equivalent range. I'm just checking for critical temperature there. I have a large magnet through the pritchel hole, and making sure that it's at a non-magnetic temperature. And do that 3 times is my normal normalizing routine. 3 times normalizing, and then do a quench. You can see just how thick this blade is, and balance it right on the face of the anvil. Maybe. I'll get it. And then step back and admire it. That's a nice blade. Oh yeah. And then the only light on in the shop is the one that's directly behind me and overhead, so that I can see when it's cooled completely to black. And once it is completely cooled, I'll go ahead and stick it back in the forge. Start the process over again. What the normalizing does is make sure that on the molecular structure that all of the little metal atoms become uniform size. Then I'm going to go ahead and heat up my quench tank here by just dropping some red hot railroad spikes in there. And it gets the water nice and warm. It prevents that shock of ice cold water onto your blade, and will mitigate chances of cracking. So now I'm making sure that the whole area of the blade is up to critical temperature. I know that there's a low carbon content in HY80, so I wanted to make sure that it was just bright cherry before I put it in the quench. And I went and did a water quench, just so it'd be a little bit more of a shock than the oil. But I still warmed up the water just so I wasn't going to crack it. And once the blade's all up to a nice even temperature, Gonna pull it out of the forge, go stick it in a quench tank. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. And now comes the fun part of filing, and filing, and then more filing. And then once all the filing is done, sanding. And then your helper comes out and wants to know, what's that? And what's over there? But then back to more sanding. I want this to be a nice mirrored finish in between the, the hammer marks, because I wanted it to look rugged and handmade, but then in between that I wanted it to have a nice mirror finish. And it ended up being all for naught, because I put a mirror finish on it and then I went ahead and Cerakoted it. And then my helper out helping again. Seems to always take longer when you have a helper, but it is nice to have the company. We got a cat shirt, and then when it's time to go, it's time to go. Sometimes you just gotta call it quits for the day. Alright, then there's my nice Cerakote black, and to keep it with my my survival theme, went ahead and put about 15 feet of paracord onto the handle. This little knot pattern. I ended up creating a really nice handle for it, and I really like the way it indexes into your hand.
So I came up with this. It's a nice chopper made out of a piece of HY80. And this thing, and it's so massive. It's got to be a 1/4 inch thick. I only did a bevel on it with a belt grinder. I haven't actually put stones to it yet. It's pretty sharp, just from the belt grinder. I did the paracord handle. With enough left over so you can make yourself a little lanyard. So when you're chopping, it's not going to fly out of your hands and you lose it. And this, I mean, it's so big. And if you can't cut through it, you just hit it. Definitely a chopper. I mean, usually with a chopper, you want the balance to be more towards the middle and most of it out towards the front. And its center balance is somewhere up here, just forward of the handle. Oh man, this thing is it's so big. Oh, this thing is stupid. Oh man. I wish I would have put an edge on it now. I don't even think it's cutting the paper, everything's just ripping through it. So I named this the Berserker. I really hope Jerry's happy with it. I mean, this, you just want to be a pirate with this blade. This thing is absolutely nuts. Not sure how well HY80 is going to hold up for being a blade. I'd imagine pretty poor. But the fact that, it came from something that took so much of our lives, now going to go to bringing joy instead of hate and discontent. It makes me pretty happy. It's a special day. And that's my blade.